Welcome to Smart Investing Nigeria.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down the single most important idea that separates the folks who do well in the stock market from, well, everyone else who gets confused and ends up losing money. It really all boils down to one fundamental question. Okay, let's just get right into it. This is the question, right? It haunts every beginner, and you know what? It trips up a lot of experienced people too. The answer isn't some secret formula. It's about realizing that there are two totally different ways to approach the market, two completely different games you can play. All right, first up, let's talk about the path that's all about speed. It's about getting in and getting out. We're talking about the short-term trader. The key word here is quickly. See, a trader isn't looking for a long-term relationship with a stock. They're buying it with a very clear plan to sell it, and usually that's within a pretty tight window. They're not planning to hold on for dear life. And this really gets to the heart of the trader's mindset. Honestly, they don't really care if the company makes the best widget in the world. Their one and only concern is price movement. Can I get in, ride a little wave up, and then get out with some cash? That's the entire game. So let's flip the coin and look at the second path, which builds a completely different mindset. Here, we stop thinking just about prices, and we start thinking about businesses. And listen to how the language changes here. It's so important. It's not just buying a stock. It's buying a part of a strong business. The goal isn't a quick flip. It's to hold on, sometimes for years, and just let the value of that actual business do its thing and grow. This analogy is just perfect. I mean, think about it. You wouldn't buy a piece of land and then check Zillow every 5 minutes, would you? Of course not. You bought it because you believe in the future of that area. The long-term investor is focused on the health and the future of the company, not the little blips on the price chart every day. So here's the crucial takeaway. These aren't just slightly different strategies. No way. They are completely different games. A trader is playing chess, thinking about the next tactical move. An investor, they're planting an orchard. They're focused on the quality of the soil and the trees for a harvest years down the road. Different goals, different rules, different ways to win. Okay, so now that we've laid out the two paths so clearly, let's talk about the big one. The trap. The critical mistake that trips up almost every single beginner and costs them a ton of money. And there it is. This is the trap in action. You see a stock that's just shooting for the moon. That's a classic trader signal. So you jump in, that fear of missing out kicks in, and you're hoping for a quick win. But then, whoops, the price turns against you. It starts dropping. And what do? All of a sudden, you change the rules of the game in your own head. You tell yourself, oh, it's fine. I'll just hold it for the long term now. You just mix the two strategies, and that, my friends, is almost always a recipe for disaster. So how in the world do you avoid this super common, super costly trap? Well, it's actually surprisingly simple. It all comes down to asking yourself one powerful, decisive question before you even think about clicking that buy button. That's it. That is the whole key. Just asking yourself this one question forces clarity. It forces discipline right from the get-go. And what it does is it stops you from making those emotional, panic decisions later on when things get stressful. Your answer to that one little question dictates your entire plan. If you decide, I'm trading this, then you absolutely positively must know where you're going to sell before you even buy. But if you say, I'm investing in this, then you have to be ready to be patient and focus on the business, not the daily market noise. Okay, so that's all great in theory, but what does this actually look like in practice for somebody who's just getting their feet wet? Let's walk through a simple, actionable blueprint you can use like today. The big idea here is to build a really strong foundation first. You anchor the main chunk of your money in solid, long-term investments, the stuff that's designed for steady growth over time. Then you take a smaller piece of the pie, and you use that to explore and learn from those faster, short-term market moves, all without putting your core savings at risk. You know, a split like this, 70-30, is a fantastic place to start. That big 70% chunk is your bedrock. It's working for you patiently in the background. That other 30%, think of that as your active money. It's what you can use to learn the trading game, maybe grab some of those quicker profits, all while knowing your foundation is totally secure. And at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. Control. Control in the market doesn't come from some magical ability to predict the future. It comes from making a crystal clear decision about which game you're playing before you put your money on the line. It's all about being proactive with your plan, not reactive to your emotions. Just by asking yourself, am I trading this or am I investing in it? you fundamentally change your relationship with the market. You stop being a confused beginner reacting to the headlines, and you start acting like a focused, strategic player. And from today, you have the tool to do exactly that. So next time you're about to buy a stock, what game will you decide to play?